So this shepherd came into my for a lesson because he's never been around other dogs before, ever, at a little over 2 years old. So this is my process to bring in a really good dog and just kind of hang in there and take this. And you can, as you can see, I don't move too quickly here. And I'm not going to correct this dog for feeling this way. You're going to see me just move around because my space is limited inside. And you may see some tugs on a leash. So that right there, the dog backing away from me, was a little more nervous and scared of me during that time. So at this time I realized that this dog has what's called social pressure. Social pressure is this symptom of not being able to be around other dogs because dogs are a social species. And so once I realized that, I saw that he had this tremendous desire to go and meet George, who's the other dog at the bottom of the screen. So all I'm doing now is moving him around. You may see a couple tugs on the leash. All I'm doing with those tugs is not correcting his behavior. I just want him to move with me and not focus so much on George. So once he settles down, then I can start to move him towards George. But because he has such a huge desire to meet, he's going to go in hot. So like right there, you're seeing me slow him down a little bit. And he's pretty fixated on George at this moment too. And so this moment right here is me explaining to the client about social pressure and what it is, what it looks like. Because a lot of times, a dog like this will just get corrected for that behavior. Now here I'm trying to actually help him out to move him closer towards George, but he doesn't want to go. So I'm not going to force him. So there's slack on the leash right now. So then he's allowed to move, but I'm not going to let him move quicker than I do. So right here, just a little tug just to get him moving in my direction, and then a reward, and you can see his behavior. He's happy with me. So I'm going to repeat this probably a couple of times if I remember correctly, and just take my time doing this to make sure that he knows that we have to do this slowly over time. At this point, his owner couldn't believe that he could actually be this close to another dog. He's literally never been around dogs. He just adopted him, I think, about 6 months ago or so, and the dog was living on a houseboat previously and just never ever had the chance to be around dogs. And he's actually a very sweet dog too, all things considered. So again, I'm just kind of, even though I'm talking to the client here, I'm giving the dog time to kind of come back down out of the clouds and out of that humongous explosion, and then we slowly start to work the dog back closer to George again. And I'm not forcing him, I'm not dragging him, I'm not doing anything. All I'm telling him, my communication with the dog with the leash is, I can bring you down here if you want, if you don't want to go, but you can't go in hot. So right there, I'm just slowing him down just a little bit. So he looked away, he's in a little bit of avoidance of me because I'm just giving him some rules and boundaries, and he and I don't know each other. So here you can see the slack on the leash. I'm letting him go, which at this moment he's a little unsure because before he did want to go, like 30 seconds ago, but I slowed him down. So in this moment, he's a little unsure. He's probably just stuck for a moment. And so I'm going to reset him to help him realize that we can do this again. So you saw the edit of the film there. That was just me talking to the client in the back for like 3 or 4 minutes. So you didn't miss anything there. So now I'm walking back closer to George. You see the shepherd kind of avoids there and now moves in. Now this is the money shot here because the leash is straight, but it's not tense. So that way, if anything goes wrong whatsoever, there's zero slack on the leash for me to reel in, and I can just move him away extremely quickly. So in a moment, there was a little sense of tension here, and I just kind of made a correction sound just to make sure it settles down right there, and then I invite him back. So there was no dragging him away. There's no tension on the leash to yank him away or correct him or anything like that. So he came back very willingly. So this guy just needs some exposure over time in a structured setting, and I think he would be totally fine. But that's a great demonstration of social pressure. Let me know if you have any questions.